But we wanted to show you the functionality of the system as it stands right now. I think we've done a pretty good job of making this a seamless application. One of the key components of this application is the administrative backend, the administrative web application, and that's what we're looking at right now. I've started with user group management, and this is one of the key components for targeting notifications at specific groups of users, and we're going to go into more detail as to how that works. We've got a pretty standard interface here. We've got a menu on the left hand side, and we've got plenty of buttons that are, I think, large enough to serve most users. If we look towards the top here, we can see that we've got a search form and a new button, and this is a standard you'll see throughout the system. We try and keep the search form for the table data underneath at the top, and it's pretty descriptive. So we're going to start with a new user group, and it's a very simple form. I believe this will grow in complexity as we learn more about the users and the type of data that we're collecting. But we're going to do a test group, and we'll put a description in. And our new test group has been saved. We have breadcrumbs at the top of the screen here. We may add more larger buttons down in here for the administrative user to navigate back, but you can click on the main section to go back to the area that displays all the groups. And we've got several groups in here, some that we don't want, so we can either edit or delete, and we're going to delete this one here, the test user type. And it's gone. As you can see, that if you saw that interaction there, it's fairly seamless, very quick. We're striving to make this a quick application. Now we have vendors, members, and something called test group 2, and I want to edit that. We'll change it to something else. Product users. And we don't need a description on this one. So we've got a pretty good mix here. Now we're going to go to notifications where these groups are actually used. And as I said before, the left-hand side has the menu, the main menu that we use for navigation. We're going to click on notifications, and we have our notification screen. Right now we've got our search form at the top that feeds this data table underneath, and then we've got our new buttons in the middle. So I'm going to click on the new notification. And here we've got a wizard layout for creating a notification, and we've got it in steps to break it down and make it a little easier for the user to target certain areas. At the top here we have our date time selection. We've got a send now option, and that will send the notification immediately to the targeted geofenced users, and we'll see the geofencing here in a moment. We also have set date range, so we can choose our date range where we want the notification to appear and be sent to the targeted users. I am choosing a range that we're out of, so I'm going to go back and up that range to the 11th. And we'll set it for just 2 days. So we've selected our date time to target the notification, and now we're going to go into a starting location to help us geofence. And the first drop down that's available is the states drop down, and as we click on it, you'll see that new drop downs appear, and this goes down all the way through districts and then the administrative divisions, and finally locations or villages, cities and villages. And they're all encompassed here. You can play with this and select different ones. What we're getting is a starting location for the map. So now we see we have a show in map button here, and if we click on this, we get the location we chose centered in the map. And this is Google Maps that we're using. We've got our standard Google Maps controls on the left-hand side for navigation. And then we've got a couple of options for geofencing. We have a circle range and then a rectangle range. And if we add a circle range, it zooms in, and we've got a default radius set right now of 50 kilometers. We can change that. We use that so we can get a broader audience in the beginning with the pilot. And you can change the radius immediately and drag the circle to whatever zone you want. And now you could add a rectangle, and you can go very deep with this to a finer granularity of control. And now we've created this location. Well, we've geofenced it. We want to save it with a custom name, so I'm going to say custom location. Save it. It's available in our selected locations, and you can stack these to target multiple groups of users, and then at any time you can go back and change the starting area. And drill down into a new location. And now we're in a different area entirely. So that's a pretty good overview of the geofencing capability. And so we're done with step one. We filled out all the areas that we want to target. Now we go to the content, and when we select it, the icon gets updated down here to let us know we've selected the proper icon. Now I'm going to pull. We've got a subject and a body for the notification, and we've got a rich text editor here that allows for a great deal of content editing, but it also, more importantly, allows for copy and paste from other web pages. So we're going to bring in our subject from that sample web page, and then we'll bring in the body content. And as you can see, as I paste this in, it brings in the content directly. So there isn't a lot of need for editing if you've already created the page outside of this editor. So it looks pretty good. We like it. We're going to move on to the next step, and in this case we're going to hit the next button, which takes us to the user group selection. And here this references back to the groups we created earlier and we were managing. These right now they're fairly simple. They're basically categories. As time goes by, I'm certain that we will be adding rules to these to allow finer granularity of control, but this is where we're starting to help pilot these users. So we're going to choose a couple of groups that we have. Vendors is one of the ones that we've got selected right now. And then the final tab has a preview of the content that we entered earlier. And this is important just so the administrative user can see if there's any errors in the content they entered and how it'll be displayed. This is a pretty good estimation of how the content's going to be displayed to the user in a wide format. And now we're going to send the notification. And we've got a sample set up right now. We go back to our main notification screen, and then we're going to bring up, right now in this new window we have the mobile presentation, and this is the default menu for the mobile application, and we're going to choose a mobile view. This is a mobile sample of what we just entered for that notification. This is a good example of the seamless experience that we're going for from the administrative user to the actual mobile user.